Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. First and foremost, I apologize for a long delay in uploading. After doing that Once Upon a Time in China box set from Criterion, I was somehow burnt out on recording and uploading. I wasn't like actually burnt out in terms of like I just can't do it anymore. It was more like, oh, I did a big video, about the box set, so I'm just going to just watch movies, and if I feel like talking about any of them, I will. And I saw a lot of great movies since then. I just didn't feel like reviewing them. So I decided to go back into the Vinegar Syndrome February package. I am a subscriber, so I have the all the releases that they do. So today we are going to do the second review of the February package. This is one that was a total shocker for me. I completely loved it, honestly. This was one I had no hopes for. Beware Children at Play. I was kind of like, okay, it's a trauma film. I gotta get ready for that. And then Drop Dead Fred. All I knew is that Severin had the rights to it and were ready to, publish it, and it got taken from them at the last second by Vinegar Syndrome. And this movie, Sister Sister, I knew nothing about. I knew Jennifer Jason Leigh was in this, who I finally looked her up because I know her name and I know her face, but I don't know what she's been in. And she's in a lot of stuff. I found out she's been in The Machinist with Christian Bale. She was in Possessor, which was one of my favorite movies of 2020. She was in Annihilation, which was another favorite of mine from 2018, I think it came out. This movie was just really fucking good. This is a gothic horror movie that takes place in Florida in like a southern estate, like motel estate, because in the beginning of the movie, it starts off with our main character, who we don't know yet. Her name is Lucy. She is played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. She is having sex with somebody, and we don't really know what's going on. It's very out of context. We don't know what is going on, as I said. And while this scene is happening, she's on her back, having sex with a man, and she sees the walls are like pulsing, and we're like, what? Why is it pulsing? And then you hear the rush of water and the cracks forming in the wall, and water is gushing out everywhere, and she's just calm. And we're like, what is going on? At least I was. I don't know how anyone else watching the movie felt. But it was really weird. It was a really weird beginning. And I didn't really know what the movie was leading to, like, at all in the first 30, 40 minutes. Because we're just kind of following these two sisters, Lucy and Charlotte. Charlotte is played by another actress who's been around forever. I thought I would remember her name, but I have to look. Judith Ivey, who the only movie I've seen of with her was Flags of Our Father, which is a pretty older, not older, but a pretty big movie from like the 2000s that I haven't even thought of in forever, so I don't remember her at all. But she's a face that you probably recognize. But these two sisters, they don't have the parents anymore. Charlotte is very controlling of Lucy, and Lucy is taking pills every single night. Charlotte is telling her what to do, although she's like 19, 20. She's a full adult, and her sister, who's a couple years older, is just completely controlling every aspect of her life. And so, as the movie goes on, we discover that there's been a murder. We don't know who the killer is, so it definitely goes into the murder mystery aspects that we see so many gothic horror movies having. And as the movie goes on, we start to learn a lot of different reveals and twists that these two sisters have with the rest of the characters that come in and out of the movie. And as the movie went on, and as I started to understand what kind of plot we were having, I really began to enjoy it. The first 30 or 40 minutes, I was intrigued. But after that, when we start getting like the big plot points and the twists, I was completely in love. I really did not expect this movie to be as good. I will say it was pretty upsetting that the dog, it was an elderly dog. He looked very happy. He got fucking murdered. I was not happy about that. They don't show it on screen, but they show the body, and it's no. I'd rather have seen a death, kill than the actual corpse of the dog. It's not the actual corpse. They probably used like a puppet, but it was still upsetting because he was just enjoying food. But now that I know what this movie is all about, this slipcover is so much cooler than I thought. It has that bisexual lighting going on. It has the Florida paddle boards, I guess it's called. It has the lantern. This movie is so gothic, while also not gothic at all. It was really interesting to see Florida as this setting for this gothic horror movie, because it has it all. It has, in the beginning of the movie, there's a huge rainstorm that blows through, and the power goes out, and everyone lights candles, and they're all walking around with candelabras, I think is what it's called. It's the, 3 candles in the middle, and they're walking around, closing windows, and you have the really spooky music. The music was amazing in this. The cinematography was kind of insane. Like, one thing I thought of after finishing, because I have a Letterboxd, and if you don't know that, go on my Instagram and ask for it, and I'll give it to you, or in the comments on this video. But on Letterboxd, I review every movie that I watch. So there's a lot of movies on there that I haven't talked about on the channel, but I give some thoughts on it and there. But for this movie, as I was kind of typing out my comment, I was like, how did Vinegar Syndrome get a hold of this? Like, this is so good. Like, this reminded me of The Caller when I reviewed that. I was like, this is just a great movie. Like, this doesn't have the cult aspects that you see in a lot of Vinegar Syndrome. You don't see the trash. And I mean that endearingly, of course. I love Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, I bought the subscription. But watching this movie, it was just really high quality. I don't know what the budget was, but I imagine, it was medium budget. It wasn't the biggest, movie ever. And this was made in 1987, so it definitely has, the soundtrack of the 80s. But it's just great. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, we get a murder mystery. We have the gothic, kind of gothic setting, but more of a gothic storytelling going on. It definitely reminded me of Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak, which I didn't really like, but I also haven't seen it since it came out. And that was when I was just beginning to get into movie collecting and learning about the art form. But it also reminded me a lot of The Devil's Backbone, which utilizes a lot of gothic horror. And Guillermo del Toro's commentary track goes into all of that. But this was just a really solid movie. I really, really enjoyed this. There's some really great twists at the end. Some pretty great set pieces at the end. I don't really have much else to say. I don't want to spoil it. It was a really great time, and it completely took me off guard. So far, this is probably a really great month in terms of just consistency. But we're going to go back to the question that I ask every review, which is, would I buy this if I didn't have the subscription? And I think it would take me a while to finally buy it and realize, oh, I do like this. Because this was a movie where you look at it on the website and you're like, nope. And you skip it. you just keep scrolling down, you see Scanner Cop and, Girlfriend from Hell and all these awesome covers, and you see this, and you're like, what is going on? This looks like Sisters. That font looks like the movie Sisters. But, this would definitely be a movie where I would deeply regret not getting the slipcover. Because on its own, I showed this in my unboxing, but on its own, it's like, oh, okay, it just looks like a early 90s, cover. But with the slipcover, it looks really fucking awesome. I was really impressed by this movie. I would definitely buy it, but it would probably take me a while to buy it and to discover that it's a good movie. Because you hear about, a lot of Vinegar Syndrome titles. It gets announced and everyone goes crazy. I mean, the Giallo box sets, Beastmaster, when that came out, that was a huge deal. Like, super huge. And this movie, like, nobody is talking about it. That was one thing I was surprised about. If I heard anything, it was probably, oh, I've never heard of this movie. What is this? I'm passing on this. I'm going to wait until I get reviews on my YouTube channel or whatever. If I was somebody who wasn't a subscriber, I would probably wait to buy it. But I'm saying this now, don't wait to buy it. Was really good. I'm very pleasantly surprised. So I think that is all for today. There's just one more movie in the February package that I still have yet to review, Drop Dead Fred. I'm really excited for this. I've heard a lot from people saying how insane it is, how great it is, and how you gotta kind of be accepting of the humor. So I'm a little iffy on that. I'm very hit or miss when it comes to humor. But I think Drop Dead Fred I will be into because it has Phoebe Cates, my crush. I have a huge crush on Phoebe Cates, and I can't wait to see a movie with her that I haven't seen. So that is all for today. Thank you all for watching, and please leave a comment and follow if you aren't already. Thank you.